And in the next 60 minutes, Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams intensifies campaign to raise funds for controversial National Cathedral as he reviews fresh concerns by two former presidents.
They've all given us their blessings, and they've brought up their concerns and issues that they think we should address and look at.
Also tonight, Electoral Commission sets date for Ayawaso West Wuogon by-election on January 31st. We'll hear from the political parties as they prepare to compete in a poll that will, many say, be a referendum on Anado's last 2 years. But is it really? We'll interrogate that. Also, campaigners for the passage of the Right Information Bill express worry over fresh comments by Speaker of Parliament fighting off pressure for the bill's immediate passage. We'll have details of that in business.
Professor Godfrey Bokin, an economist, is kicking against any form of government bailout for customers of Nesco.
And I'll bring you a preview to the Kabek Fight Night 2 happening at the Bukom Boxing Arena later tonight, later in sports.
You want to join us with your views and comments, feel free to do so. Send us a WhatsApp 0244340437. My name is Evans Mensah. Well, it's been a controversial subject ever since it was first thrown out there as an idea, but it's gathering momentum in terms of bringing it from idea into reality. Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams is tonight intensifying the campaign to raise funds for the construction of the controversial National Cathedral amidst fresh concerns from leading national figures, including former President John Mahama and John Rawlings. The Archbishop, who is also the chairman for the fundraising committee, today paid a courtesy call on the Speaker of Parliament to officially invite him for the fundraising event later this week. Speaking to join you shortly after the visit, he indicated the two former presidents have expressed their own personal concerns about the project.
I mean, they've all given us their blessings, and they've brought up their concerns and issues that they think we should address and look at. You know, whatever concerns they have and the public have, it has come to our attention, and we are addressing them, you know, at the background. And pretty soon our secretariat will be coming out with a media department or a PR department to be addressing some of these issues. And then we will all come on air at different times, you know, to engage you and then to talk to you, because we need to make sense of a lot of the things that are going around, some of the speculations and all that. And I think that we can make sense out of it if we bring clarity to a lot of the unanswered questions out there. I don't see it as something that is so difficult, because we are flexible. You know, we believe in this country. We don't want confusion. We want peace. And we will do everything to bring the country together and not to have the country divided over a national cathedral. You know, it is something that must bring us together, not to divide us. So we are determined to talk to everybody as much as possible, to bring everybody on board as much as possible.
Meanwhile, the Speaker of Parliament, Professor Aaron Michael Quay, is urging Ghanaians to support the construction of the project, which is he says, a worthy one.
So I would like to add my voice to the fact that kindly let us all appreciate what the President has conceptualized and help these ladies and gentlemen, and also men and women of God, who we all know already as men and women of God, to achieve this. In Ghana, we really pride ourselves as a Christian country. We are some 70% plus of the population. We also live peacefully with others who prefer other religions. Nevertheless, we should symbolize that which we practice. And I think to have a national cathedral cannot be a bad idea at all, and is worthy of every support. What is very significant is the fact that this is not going to be a state institution. It's very, very important so that the church itself is not swallowed by the state. It's something that we all don't want.
Another Speaker of Parliament there. What's your own take on this? I want to hear from you. 0244340437. Let's hear from you, but share your thoughts with the rest of the world. But there's something else we're following for you tonight. Is the after an IPAC meeting, an emergency one, of course, held earlier today between the Electoral Commission and the political parties. They have settled on a date for that all-important by-election in the Yawaso West Wuogon constituency. And the date is the 31st of January 2019, a few hours after the NDC holds its own presidential primaries. And that's the Electoral Commission's decision together with the parties today. The date was agreed upon at an emergency IPAC meeting. And remember what happened? The seat became vacant following the demise of MP for the area, Emmanuel Chamanteng Ejako. Already the leading political parties, MPP and NDC, grooming their respective candidates to face off in the upcoming contest. Let's speak to Head of Communications at the Electoral Commission, Eric Jakpasu. Let's get some further clarity on this. Thank you very much, Mr. Jakpasu, for your time here on Newsnight. So the data's being set, but I'm wondering, the other details, though, regarding filing fee, when nominations will be open, was that discussed and what was agreed?
Yeah, 31st January is the day fixed for the by-election for the Yawaso West Wuogon constituency. Nomination forms will be available for pickup from the Yawaso District Office of the Commission from the 27th of December to the 12th of January. The 10th to the 12th of January, those 2 days are for the submission of completed nomination forms, and the filing fee is 10,000 Ghana cedis.
10,000 cedis if you want to contest in the primary. The parties,
10,000 cedis.
The parties agree to this.
Yeah, the issue of the filing fee was not discussed at the IPAC. What was discussed at the IPAC was the date for the election, and the parties were promised, and in fact they had been given the entire program of activities leading to the election on the 31st of January, including the nomination period, where to pick the forms, and then the all other relevant matters.
I'm curious why there was an emergency IPAC meeting, and yet the filing fee, and we know how the controversy surrounding filing fees, it wasn't discussed with the parties or agreed with them.
It was an emergency meeting. There were issues to be tackled, and I think all the parties involved were comfortable with whatever discussion that went on and what arrangement that we have put in place.
But this amount was not part of the discussions. Just to clear that.
No, it wasn't part of the discussion, but I think it's been communicated to the parties, and we're here to hear of any other position apart from the fact that this is the filing fee.
Okay, so it wasn't part of it, but subsequent to this, the parties will have to be officially communicated. I'm guessing most people will be hearing this for the first time.
Yeah, the commission would communicate to them the all other details as they were promised at the IPAC meeting today, and I believe a lot of communication has even gone on between the time the IPAC ended, the meeting ended, to this time.
So, just to clarify, you've already written to them formally, informing them of this, or this is yet to happen?
Yeah, some correspondence has gone on anyway, but I'm here to know the fine details of some of them. I'm here to know whether it is included communicating the filing fee to them. Okay. And
31st January, what went into the decision to fix that date?
No, we are enjoined by the law to conduct the by-election within some period of time, and when they came, this was the date that the commission proposed, and all the parties present bought into it. They agreed as a consensus that we can go ahead and then have the election on the 31st of January.
I'm grateful that you joined us. We're trying to get the political parties who were part of this meeting to give us a sense of what they make of this. We'll be hearing from the NDC and NPP shortly. They were part of this meeting. Once we get them on the line, we'll definitely bring the views to you on this. Now that the date has been set, a filing fee pegged at 10,000 cedis for those who want to aspire to lead that particular constituency as members of parliament. Why don't you share your thoughts with me on that as well as we speak to the political parties on what has happened today at this IPAC meeting. Remember, this amount figure wasn't part of the discussions as we've had the clarifications. The communications will now go to the parties themselves as they consider this. We're waiting to hear reactions from the parties on this. But another story we're following for you tonight. Campaigners for the passage of the Right Information Bill are expressing worry over comments by Speaker of Parliament urging critics to leave Parliament alone to work on the bill. Now, Professor Michael Quay has been fighting off pressure from the public and civil society for the House to speedily pass the Right Information Bill into law. He describes as fallacious impressions that the House is not committed to getting the bill passed into law.
Recently, while Parliament is still working hard to pass the Right of Information Bill, certain persons and institutions are acting as if we are droning off on the bill. This is fallacious. And I would be glad if the media would seriously correct this misimpression. The bill has seen several years and several parliaments, and it is tricky in many ways. The budget and other tricky and important matters also came our way. We have done 80% of the work already, and we'll finish the bill fully, I believe, and professionally on or before the end of February 2019. The public should please trust us and leave us alone for now to do a good job. We are committed to passing the bill and we are working towards it. No civil society organization should at this belated hour jump on our backs and pretend as if they are the people who are interested in the passing of this bill.
Well, that's the speaker there, speaking in reference particularly to civil society. This new position taken by the speaker is in sharp contradiction to assurances he gave earlier in the year that the bill was going to be passed before the end of the year. Now, take a listen to him on just November 12th this year.
The Right for Information Act, for example, bill, for example, will soon be passed into an act from this place, and I believe that it will be a matter of just a couple of weeks.
Would we see it's by the end of the session?
By the end of this year? No. Oh, you mean the Right to Information? Oh, definitely. I can assure you that we shall have a Right to Information Act by.
Mr. Speaker, talking about definitely, in the last week we've had 2 instances where Parliament lacked quorum. So, I mean, how do we know that Parliament is serious, and how can we justify that when members have not been present for the consideration of the bill?
No, I can assure you it will be done.
But there's budget coming, and there'll be a lot of deliberations.
The budget will come, we'll deal with the budget, and at the same time, RTI will be a thing of the past.
So we should take your words that it's going to be passed by the end of this year?
By the end of this year. RTI should be a thing of the past. When we come in January, I think rather we must be concentrating on women.
So you spot the contradiction there. He was absolutely emphatic that the bill will be passed by the end of the year. And the year is just about ending. Parliament is on recess. So obviously that promise he made cannot be realized. And yet he spoke in the last time just before Parliament rose. He says, don't put pressure on us. Get off our backs, civil society. Don't push this. We'll be speaking to those who've been campaigning for the passage of the bill shortly in the wake of what had just happened with the Speaker appearing to change positions on this matter literally within a month shortly. Your view is also welcome. But let's return to the story about the Yawaso West Wuogon constituency's by-election and the emergency IPAC meeting that was held today. We can speak now to the national organizer of course, the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party who joins us on the telephone line right now, Mr. John Boadu, who was at the emergency IPAC meeting. Mr. Boadu, thank you for your time here on Newsnight.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So we were told today that you fixed, together with the Electoral Commission, 31st of January for the by-election. Is your party ready? Because you have to do what? I'm guessing you have to do a primary. Will you do a primary?
Yeah, we couldn't have been ready for a by-election because we didn't know that this unfortunate incident was going to happen to us. But by a constitutional duty, after the demise of a member of parliament within a specific date, if Parliament and the Electoral Commission is made aware, within some period, they must organize a by-election to elect an individual to fill the vacancy that has occurred. For us, yes, a lot of people showed interest, and rightly so, because this is an elite constituency, the constituency that was won over the years. Considering the interests and the dynamics on the ground, we opened nomination. We decided to open nomination for prospective candidates to apply if they wish to do so. We've done that. 7 people take forms. 6 of them filed by close of filing on Sunday. Today, 6 of them have been vetted, and they've even gone ahead to ballot. What it means is that 6 people have applied and are qualified to contest to become our candidate. On the 29th of December, that is Saturday coming, we hold our extraordinary delegate conference to elect our parliamentary candidates for the by-election.
You say 6 people. You vetted them today?
Yeah, we did. We vetted them today.
You cleared all of them?
Yes. They all qualify by our own party rules and regulations and that of the National Constitution.
Who are these 6 people?
I can't mention them on top of my head, but I know of Nanama Achama, I know of Lydia Lassa, I know of our youth organizer that resigned to contest, and I don't have the details of it.
I need to ask this. We saw in the lead up to this the controversy that ensued. Did any of the 6 include the wife of the late MP?
Well, I can't say that for certain, but when I get a list to you know. But we open up nominations. People who are prospective and want to contest applied. We vetted them, and the 6 of them have qualified. And we are all waiting to see to it that the conference is organized on Saturday. Yeah.
I noticed you mentioned one of the people you vetted is Lydia Hassan. Lydia Hassan, isn't Lydia Hassan the related? I don't know whether to call it the second wife of Jacob?
I think so. Yeah.
That's her, correct?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, and she was vetted today.
Yes.
Okay, and she's clear. So she's clear to stand all
the 6 prospective aspirants were vetted today, and they were cleared. They balloted. So they've all been cleared, and we are waiting to have the conference on Saturday.
And if you're just listening to us and you're wondering who Lydia Hassan is, Lydia Hassan is has been described as one of the wives of the late Member of Parliament for Ayawaso West Wuogon, who we know was caught up in that controversy just before the party opened nominations to contest in that particular constituency. It appears she's picked up form, she's been vetted and cleared to go and run together with the 5 others. Mr. Boadu, did any of the controversy surrounding Madam Hassan come up at all? Was any petitions filed on that? Because we know that has played up in the media quite strongly.
No, not exactly. We held a National Executive Committee meeting last Thursday, and that led to the opening of the nomination, the filing, and all that. Our basic principle or guidance was the rules and regulations that guide the election of parliamentary candidates, and that's what we went through. I haven't received any petition whatsoever from anybody. The committee was chaired by our former national chairman of our party, Mr. Peter McMahon, and I think that's so far.
We also heard that a son of former President Kufuor was interested in that seat. Was he part of the 6?
I saw a name, Reverend Edward
Kufuor,
yes. And like I told you, he's been vetted and he's gone through the vetting, and they've already balloted, so he's on it. Yeah.
It's on it. Okay, so that is going to be a very interesting context. A wife of the late MP, the son of John Kufuor, is looking pretty keenly contested already. Surprised yourself?
Not exactly. I think that by virtue of deciding to go for a primary, that has even reduced the numbers that we're hearing, close to 20-something plus, because the thinking initially was that people were thinking that we're going to either nominate or select or appoint somebody to contest on our ticket. And that is done in other depending on the dynamics on the ground. But we decided to go for the full hog, and this is what we have now, yeah.
We heard that at this emergency IPAC meeting we had with the Electoral Commission, you fixed the date. But did you get to discuss filing fee?
No, we didn't. Normally, parliamentary elections, the filing fees are minimal, and I don't think that is a major issue.
Just before we called you,
issue that we didn't also discuss, because, for instance, if you determine the date, then you can work backwards, because the Constitution is clear on it that filing should not be later than 10 days before the actual elections. Now that we've agreed on the date as 31st January 2019, they can simply work backwards to let us know the time for the opening of the nomination and the filing period, plus the filing fee. And the Electoral Commission promised us that by close of today, we are going to get all that details.
In fact, just before we called you, we spoke to the communications director of the EC, and he confirmed to us that those additional details have now been settled. The filing fee has been pegged at 10,000 cedis. Your reaction to that?
I think it's okay.
I'm grateful.
Both parties so far, I haven't heard of other parties. NDC, for instance, their nomination fee was 1,000, their filing fee was 10,000. Ours was the same, so I don't think it's anything that anybody will quarrel over. No. In addition to that, if you get about 12.5% of the votes, you are entitled to ask for a refund, and I think that is in order here.
And that is John Boyedude. He is the the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, speaking to us about the by-election on the 31st of January 2019. He's confirmed that today the wife of the late, one of the wives, in fact, of the late MP for the area, Boakye Jacko, Madam Lydia Ahassan, has been vetted and cleared to contest in the elections, the primaries, this weekend. Also on the list is a son of former President John Kufuor, Edward Agyekum Kufuor, who has also been vetted and approved to contest in the primary this weekend. There are 6 candidates in all, and 4 others that will confirm for you if in our subsequent bulletin. Still listening to News 90 on Joy 99.7 FM. Let's return to our story on the Right to Information Bill and the Speaker's latest pronouncements on the matter, which is causing a lot of controversy already. I have on the telephone line with me right now the head of the Media Foundation for West Africa, Mr. Suleiman Abraham. Mr. Abraham, thank you for your time here on Newsnight.
Thank you very much for having me.
I'm going to play you 2 clips. One clip of the Speaker, which was just delivered over the weekend, and another one which he himself asserted just a month back, and then I'll ask you for your reaction. This is the Speaker speaking just this weekend.
Recently, while Parliament is still working hard to pass the Right of Information Bill, certain persons and institutions are acting as if we are droning off on the bill. This is fallacious, and I would be glad if the media will seriously correct this misimpression. The bill has seen several years and several parliaments, and it is tricky in many ways. The budget and other tricky and important matters also came our way. We have done 80% of the work already, and we'll finish the bill fully, I believe, and professionally on or before the end of February 2019. The public should please trust us and leave us alone for now to do a good job. We are committed to passing the bill and we are working towards it. No civil society organization should at this belated hour jump on our backs and pretend as if they are the people who are interested in the passing of this bill.
Now listen to the Speaker speaking just a month ago.
The Right for Information Act, for example, bill, for example, will soon be passed into an act from this place. And I believe that it will be a matter of just a couple of weeks.
Would we say it's by the end of the session?
By the end of this year? No. Oh, you mean the right to information? Oh, definitely. I can assure you that we shall have a right to information act by.
Mr. Speaker, talking about definitely, in the last week we've had 2 instances where Parliament lacked quorum. So, I mean, how do we know that Parliament is serious, and how can we justify that when members have not been present for the consideration of the bill?
No, I can assure you it will be done.
Mr. Brimer, what's the reaction to that?
Well, Evans, I must say that I'm not surprised at all, because this has been the story behind the Right to Information bill in Parliament. Look, the MPP, as you know, did promise that when it is elected into power, it is one of the things that they would do as soon as possible. And that if that Parliament, which was then under President Mohammed's government, failed to pass the bill, it is one of the things that they will quickly do when they get power. So upon assumption of power, just about a month later, this was February 2017, the Vice President did say that the bill was going to be passed actually within 100 days of the government. Even as we were, not too optimistic about it, once it was coming from the Vice President, we thought that it's something that they knew what they were talking about. Then, 100 days came to pass. The next was the then Information Minister, Mustafa Hamid, on 3rd of May 2017, assuring the nation that based on whatever they have done, the RTI bill was going to be passed by July 2017. And he emphasized that that was a done deal. It was non-negotiable. And this is something that is still available for people to see. July came to pass, nothing happened. In September 2017, the president himself then said that it is one of the critical things that the government was going to do. Nothing happened. Enter 2018, and we've just compiled a video of all these promises. And His Excellency the President himself, speaking at the Independence Day, 6 March 2018, said that the RTI bill was going to be passed before the end of the meeting of that particular parliament. And that parliament was to rise on March 21st. Well, if the president says it's going to be done, who are we to doubt him? The vice president repeated the same promise on the 19th of March, that it was going to be done because cabinet has gone through and everything. March came to pass, nothing happened. On May 3, 2018, the information minister again repeated that the bill was going to be a done deal before the end of this year. It didn't happen. And as you played the Right Honorable Speaker about a month ago saying that it was going to be done, it wasn't done. And now he's complaining that civil society and other groups are putting pressure on Parliament. And so that's why I'm saying that I'm not surprised at all. This has been the trend, and I'm surprised that our leaders would continue to be that bold in promising when they know that it cannot be done. And I don't just know what the reasons are.
One of the things that the Speaker said in his latest pronouncements over the weekend is that the public should trust us and leave us alone. Do you trust them? Are you ready to leave them alone to do their work?
I don't know if anybody at all would trust any of the leaders in the current regime when it comes to the Right to Information bill, given the chronology of promises, promises upon promises upon promises, and not just not low-level people. Even if these promises had come from ministers, you may say, well, these are ministers. But we are talking about ministers, the president himself, the vice president, the Speaker of Parliament, all speaking and giving definitive timelines. And you would say that, look, if the Speaker who presides over Parliament says that this is going to be a law before the end of Parliament, then absolutely you would have been thinking that, well, even the president doesn't work in parliament, the vice president, the ministers are not in parliament. So now if the Speaker of Parliament himself has given this assurance, then we have no basis to doubt. But it appears that it is just a trend, from the leadership. And by this I mean the first gentleman has spoken, the next powerful person, the vice president, has spoken, the third most powerful person, the Speaker of Parliament, has made promises. All have come to pass without any fulfillment. And so at this stage, there is absolutely no basis to trust any of these people when a promise is made and timelines are given.
So what next?
Well, I heard the Speaker say that Parliament should be left alone to do their work and let no civil society organization act as though they are the ones interested. Others have said that he indicated that we are putting pressure on them. So far, I think, if anything at all, what had happened was perhaps an overt kind of diplomacy that was quite open to engage Parliament to try and get them to do what they have to do for the people of this country. But given where we are now, I think what we can call pressure would start in 2019 when Parliament resumes. And what I want to assure is that we are not going to, back off this whole agenda of getting the RTI passed. It's been 13 years. So nobody can tell us that they are trying to do what they have to do. There have been bills and laws that have been passed, which would have been difficult. Special prosecutors law. Done is done. And even with the challenges of constitutional issues around how do we delimit it from the powers of the Attorney General and so on and so forth, it's been done. And an LI has been placed. So why would it take us, 13 years and more in Parliament and not done? So, Evans, what I can say is that as civil society organizations, the RTI Coalition, the Media Coalition, and all, interested parties, we have raised ourselves up, and come January when Parliament resumes, perhaps that is when we are going to start what can actually be called pressure on Parliament.
I'm grateful that you joined us. That's Suleiman Abrahama. He heads the Media Foundation for West Africa. What's your own view on this? After business, I'll share with you what you've been sharing with us on the stories you've been doing so far. Plus, still to come, police foil attempts by customers of Men's Gold to block the N1 highway as part of their protest demanding the investments. So what now for these customers? And then we'll also hear from the minister responsible for regional reorganization and development, with just 48 hours to go before that historic referendum that may create 6 additional regions. He says government will accept whatever outcome there is from Thursday's referendum for the creation of the new regions, including the possibility of a total rejection of all 6 proposed regions. Remember the steep constitutional criteria set out there? He says that's going to be an uphill task, and government is aware of it. We want to hear Damboche speak to us here on Newsnight. And George is here with the very latest from the world of business. Hello, George.
Hi, Evans. And coming up in business, economist Professor Godfred Bobkin kicks against any form of government bailout for Men's Gold customers, but pushes for possible liquidation of assets to deal with the issue. When less than 24 hours to Christmas, traders optimistic about meeting their Christmas sales targets despite the perceived low patronage for this month. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials. And First National Bank, we are the bank that understands your business. First National Bank, how can we help you?
Hello, is this Amayebwa, please? Oh, congratulations, madam. You have won 10,000 Ghana cedis. Eh? Yes, so you are now 10,000 Ghana cedis richer. But before you can access your prize, you will have to send a small token to this mobile money number along with your mobile money PIN to redeem your prize.
Ah, Don't be a mugu. MTN or employees of MTN will never call you to pay any money or send airtime before you redeem your promotional prize. You only win in a promotion you have participated in. Remember not to share your mobile money PIN under any circumstance. It's your secret. If you're in doubt, call 100 or visit any MTN service center for assistance or clarification. You can also report fraudulent mobile money activity to mmfraud.gh@mtn.com or send a text to 1515. MTN, everywhere you go.
Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited is organizing its end-of-year furniture promotional sales from the 1st to the 31st of December 2018. Kingdom Books and Stationery is giving away a whopping 10% discount on all furniture at the following branches: Tema near Community 4, Airport, Woolworth Building, Head Office, Akweje, Takoradi Fijai Road, Santasi and KNUST in Kumasi. Hurry while stocks last. For further inquiries, contact us on the following numbers: 050-140-1050 or 0302-762792 or 0302-764101 or email us kingdomcustomerservice@ymail.com or info@kingdomgh.com. You can also visit our website www.kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured.
Let us help you bank with the right bank. At First National Bank, we're more than just a bank. We're a digital partner that actually understands your business. Enjoy massive value with our various banking solutions. Get a business check account, a day-to-day transactional account for all businesses from all sectors of the economy. Access our online banking enterprise and bank your way 24/7. Invest with our short or long-term options that enable immediate access to funds. Optimize your cash flow, raise capital, and acquire assets with ease with our lending solutions. Trade with speed, consistency, and innovation with our global payments and forex solutions. With so much value up for grabs, there is no reason not to bank with First National Bank. First National Bank. How can we help you?
On Thursday, 27th of December 2018, from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., all registered voters of the Ahafo, Bono East, Northeast, Savannah, Western North, and the OT areas will go to their various polling stations to vote yellow for yes or brown for no to decide whether the new regions should be created or not. All registered voters in the proposed areas, as well as persons who transferred their votes to the areas, are eligible to vote. If the device fails to verify you as the person on the register, you will be taken through a manual verification process once you have your details in the register and the biometric verification device, BVD, has successfully scanned your barcode. The voter will then be issued a ballot paper, which will require the voter to vote either yellow for yes or brown for no. After receiving the ballot paper, the voter must proceed to the voting screen and vote for only one issue. To vote yellow for yes or brown for no to decide whether the new regions should be created or not. A voter can talk to the presiding officer if they have any challenges. Remember, the voting process will be at the Hafu, Bono East, Northeast, Savannah, Western North, and the OT areas on Thursday, 27 December 2018, from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Vote early to avoid any disappointments. Your vote is your power.
Come, let's build our National House of Prayer. The chairperson and members of the Board of Trustees and the fundraising committee of the National Cathedral of Ghana invite you and everyone to join us at the historic fundraising dinner for the building of our National Cathedral, our house for the Lord. This is our iconic infrastructure and pride. The event is on the 28th of December 2018 at the forecourt of the State House, Accra. Time, 6 p.m. prompt. Guest of honor, the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Tickets are available at the Secretariat of the National Cathedral opposite the State Protocol Department, State House, Accra. Come support this worthy cause and let's build a house of national unity, harmony, and spirituality. Arise and let's build for God and country.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Welcome back to Business on News Now. Now, economist Professor Godfred Bokun is kicking against any form of financial bailout for customers of gold dealership firm Men's Gold. Now, this has been influenced by renewed calls for some sort of government intervention after aggrieved workers attempted to block portions of the NY Highway at Jowolo today. Earlier today, some of them also besieged the offices at Jowolo. Professor Bobkin said any form of government intervention could send the wrong signals.
So broadly, I think government will have to be very cautious how they come in. But I think there should be a way out because Men's Gold has assets. So I expect that the state institutions will move in and do whatever investigation and see how recover their monies and pay them. Even if they don't get the interest and they have to get the principal, that is fine. But I think the pressure on government to come in with bailout here and there, I think we have to be cautious about it because already we don't have that budget. Remember, in the banking sector alone, government has had to inject close to 11 billion cedis, and that itself has increased our debt to GDP ratio.
Professor Godfrey Bobkin is an economist. On the heavy vehicular traffic that characterizes Christmas Eve days was somehow missing today. Joy businesses are better busy. Visited some bus terminals here in Accra. And here is her voiced report.
To some people, Christmas is only about visiting family and friends to reunite after a year gone by. Bus terminals are normally characterized by holiday makers trying to beat the last-minute deadline for the start of the Yuletide. The VIP bus station is one such popular bus terminal located at Circle, Accra. This year, the situation is not so different. Many people were ready to catch a bus at the last minute. This lady says she has been at the bus terminal since 5 a.m. We also chanced on some other people getting ready to catch a bus. They shared their thoughts.
We have been here since morning and I'm still here. You know, today is Christmas, so I have to go and enjoy myself in my hometown.
Yeah, even though people also say times are hard, which is very true, or to all witnesses, but then this is a festive season which comes once in a while, so you just have to be with family, have fun.
A lot more people were still coming in to get their tickets to their various destinations.
My name is Ajo. I'm going to Kumasi. I'm going to celebrate Christmas with my family.
I'm going to Kumasi because of the Christmas season. I'm going to visit my family over there. Oh, certainly times are hard because you know how the economy is, but still we have to celebrate the Christmas with our family.
Transport manager at the VIP bus terminal, Foster Asari Brako, says the transport business has been good as compared with last year. He said the terminal is not so choked this year as authorities had made way for more buses to offset the pressure during these times.
This year,
people are really patronizing the buses. We have enough buses to convey people. There are a lot of people traveling this year as compared to last year. We have made provisions for new buses. That is why this place is not choked this time.
And that's Abeta Bisu's report. Well, as Karen Dodo reports from the Central Business District, some traders say they are yet to meet their target for the Christmas sales.
So I visited a couple of shops to assess sales in the market. My first stop was a clothing shop for children. The owner, Linda, explained that although sales have been slow, it is still early to calculate her profits.
Since the day hasn't ended, we wouldn't know, but if we are ranging from 1 to 50 or 1 to 100 people, we've got like 50 or 60 people coming in to buy. And there are some who come in, you show them the price and they go back.
However, some other traders had mixed reactions.
Last year.
They are buying, but it's great. Market is fine.
From Saturday to now, like how many bags have you sold?
Oh, I can't mention, but
let's say roughly between 50 and 100.
Oh, it's over.
I also spoke to some customers to find out why they were in the market at the last minute.
I didn't have much time throughout last week, so this week I had a little time today and I had to dash here to buy 1 or 2 stuff for the kids.
Despite the vehicular traffic and human traffic.
Exactly, I still have to, when we don't do that, you are dead.
Today is my off day, so I decided to come to town and then buy so that I can distribute to my customers.
So we've had the traders, we've had the customers. It doesn't look like a really good season for some people, whilst others are hoping that although Christmas is still around the corner, they would make the sales that they want to make. While reporting from the Central Business District here in Accra, I'm Karen Dodu for Joy Business.
And here in the studios, my name is George Yafi, and that's all for business on Newsnight. Back to you, Evans.
And George, thank you very much. And this Men's Gold story has attracted a lot of attention. And I see a lot of you sending us messages. One says, I am a poor teacher who went for a loan of 62,000 cedis from a bank to invest in Men's Gold in August. He went for a loan, and then he invested it in Men's Gold in August this year. Since September, I have not received a pesewa from the company. The bank is now chasing me for their money. Yeah, this is pretty sad. All my plans in life has come to a standstill. Life has become unbearable for me. I plan to pursue my masters, marry, and start my own business. It has all come to a standstill. I plead with the government and individuals to help me. I want to read that again. This is sad. This is a real story behind the Men's Gold issues that you've been reading about and listening to on radio, etc. There are lives behind it. Individuals such as this. He says, I am a poor teacher who went for a loan of 62,000 cedis from a bank to invest in Men's Gold in August this year. Since September, I have not received a pesewa from the company. The bank is now chasing me for their money. All my plans in life has come to an end. It's come to a standstill. Life has become unbearable for me. I plan to pursue my masters, marry, and start my own business. It has all come to a standstill. I plead with the government and individuals to come to my help. Well, that is one of our listeners who sent us that. And it is that Men's Gold story that we turn next, because the police this morning foiled an attempt by customers of Men's Gold to block the N1 highway in Accra as part of their demonstration, demanding their investment. The customers marched up at the headquarters of the company to protest against non-payment of their monies. The company has for some time now struggled to pay customers their deposits, despite protest and legal actions by some of them. Well, Nancy Emefa Jadosi has the rest of the story.
Amma Pokia invested 50,000 Ghana cedis in the gold dealership firm Men's Gold. She's one out of many customers who visits the facility daily to check if the company has started payment.
I know the two. Baba 500 million here, about 50,000 Ghana cedis.
Baba Mediana Mima, because me Bahabia means me. And to me, the TV, so then you are not the moon is awesome.
The over 50 customers impulsively ran into the George Walker Bush Highway to block the road without any caution. They were willing to even die for what they say is their hard-earned investment.
And they wanted to do us with our hard-earned money, and we will not accept that. We will never accept that, because it is even good we die for this money. We die for our monies because it is our blood. Yes. It is our blood and we suffer for it. We cannot let it go scot-free.
The police, as usual, guarded the place, though attempts were made by these customers to force their way into the premises of the company.
Okay. You witness the way and manner they rush onto the highway. The police has to tactically stop the vehicles that were speeding. If not, we would have witnessed a mass suicide on our route, and we are not prepared to supervise this.
For me, even when I had it, it was just July that I did my investment. That is about 756,000 Ghana cedis.
756,000 Ghana cedis.
Yeah. That is old currency. Is 7.
That's how much you invested?
Yes, that is my investment with Men's Gold.
So right now you just will continue to protest and hoping that the authorities will hear you.
Yes, we will do that.
The epitome of grace, as boldly embossed on the buildings of Men's Gold, is soon becoming an epitome of grief.
So that's the story of the Men's Gold customers, and as you can imagine, Chairman of Parliament Finance Committee, Dr. Marcus Ibebwa, is encouraging government not to intervene, insisting the customers should blame themselves for what has happened.
The government won those who put their monies there. The government won them. As late as February 2017, Men's Gold came to the Finance Committee, and then we told them what they were doing was illegal. At that point, if anyone wanted to take out their funds, they would have been able to do so.
So those crying now, it's probably their own causing, and they shouldn't be going back to government.
They are crying over spilled milk. Yeah. People are comparing this one to DKM. DKM was regulated by the central bank. So in a sense, it's like one of the 7 banks that have gone underwater. But Men's Gold was not regulated by SEC, neither was it regulated by the Bank of Ghana.
And that's the chairman of the Finance Committee, but the ranking member on the committee disagrees with that view.
I strongly believe that government has a responsibility to intervene. I strongly also believe that government attitude of I don't care is not good enough, because government should intervene into ensuring that at least at the minimum, the assets of the owners of Men's Gold are confiscated, very much so, if possible, sell them and then defray the debt with it. Government cannot assume that the guy can commit a crime like this and go away. It's only the government that has the power of a state to be able to use the police, to be able to use the military, to be able to contact Interpol to ensure that the asset of this crime, the person who committed this crime, is brought to book and then used it. Anything more than that, I have a concern. Government warned people against rape, yet people rape them. At the end of the day, government doesn't say that because you have been raped and I warned you, I'm not going to prosecute the rapist. Government is running away from their responsibility, and that is a shame. I call on His Excellency the President to use the power vested in him by the Constitution of the Republic to ensure that the perpetrators, particularly the owners of Men's Gold who have committed such a crime, be brought to book.
What if it's not enough?
You see, assuming somebody has taken 10 million cedis of yours, and you can recover 9 million. It's better to recover the 9 million than to say that I'm not going to act at all. I think government attitude is nothing but a failure. Government has failed in this.
And that's Castle Atoforting. He's a ranking member on the Finance Committee in Parliament. So what should government do now? Let's speak to financial consultant Dr. Charles Mensah is on the line with us. Dr. Mensah, so what should government do? Hello, Dr. Mensah.
Yeah, good evening. I'm not.
Oh, Charles. Yes. So, what should government do on this, Mr. Mensah?
I think that the Registrar General can request for liquidation of the company by virtue of what is happening. That's an option one. Option two, I think they can have a class action and push the court to ensure that there's a compulsory liquidation to the extent that the liabilities of the company cannot be met, so they can liquidate. And when it happens that way, the assets of Men's Gold, the directors' personal assets, they can lift the veil of incorporation and sell those assets, and then they can begin to distribute to all and sundry, those who have invested. But you see, Evans, it is risk and return. High risk, high returns. As long as you are earning a high return, the downside is that there's a high risk there. So most people are crying. Fair enough, it's a sad situation. But unfortunately, 10%, 15%, whatever they were getting, was a high risk venture. And they've lost. Because when people are saying that government should come in, how would the government come in? That means that we are going to have a situation where when Joy FM goes under, touch wood, it means that government should bail them out. When Company A, the government should bail them out. This is not going to help. I think that the only way is to have a class action, sell all the assets, and then distribute it to all those who are holding investment in the company. That's all. That's the only thing that government can do. I mean, maybe he will supervise to ensure that there is discipline, the right liquidator has been appointed, and the value of those assets are right, so that we can sell it, we don't give it away, and all those ones, so we can sell it and distribute it accordingly for all and sundry. But the key point is that we have regulation in this country. If you're under Security Exchange Commission, there are rules. If you're under Bank of Ghana, there are rules. Now, you notice that last year, I think there was a discussion on it, though we are not under any regulation. We're not under any Anybody who invests in a venture where they are not regulated, in itself, is a big challenge. And I was thinking that it was a signal for people to pull out. But yet, the management of Men's Good and Co. were still giving assurance statements. So I feel that maybe if they have some assets somewhere, they should just liquidate those assets and begin to pay people.
Yeah, and Charles Mensah, I'm grateful that you joined us. I also recall when this controversy started, the customers were attacking anybody who dared raise an issue against Men's Gold. They said, yeah, it's our money. We love Men's Gold, and we're taking the risk. Leave us to suffer the consequences, where the consequences appear to be here. And they want some intervention. You can share your thoughts on this with us. Baba is here with the latest from the world of sports. Hello, Babs. The pre-Christmas edition. What do you have in the headlines?
Yes, like you say, it's Christmas Eve, and I'm sure that I'm actually very, very sure that thousands of people are, getting ready to go out and about. Are you going out tonight, Evans?
I'm working, so unfortunately,
of course, you and I are both working, but we're not working till 12 midnight. So, are you going out tonight?
Are you? Is your way to ask me out on a date?
Well, yeah, I actually have been longing to ask you out on a date.
Okay, so let's do it tonight.
All right. So we should go to the Bukom Boxing Arena because there's a big fight night.
Oh, I will love to be there.
There's actually the Kabik fight night too, and it involves a lot with 2 major titles up for grabs. So let's actually hear the preview, then we can decide on a date.
You may not blink an eye at the Bukom Boxing Arena tonight because there are 6 cracking, eye-catching bouts. The Kabik Big Fight Night features 2 title bouts and 4 undercut championship fights. The top liner is the bout involving Ghana's Patrick Alute and Sheriff Kasongo, and the 28-year-old boxer is eager to defend his WBO Africa Super Welterweight title on home soil.
Yeah, I'm returning this title because I need to fight world title. If God permit, next year, a world title shot will come on my way. So I don't need to lose. I've watched his fight on YouTube and I've seen his antics and how he does when he's in the ring. And I've learned a lot to crush him.
Kenya's Okola Morris and Ghana's Richard Latte Harrison clash in the other bout on the night. Up for grabs is the coveted WBO Africa Heavyweight title. Okola Morris is dreaming of winning the title.
I'll shock up Africa. I'll shock up Africa. That's what I can tell. I think I'm ready more than him. I'm very comfortable. I'll push myself to the limit, and I'm nothing to worry. I'm ready. And I'll make sure that I'll take that title back home. I can say I'm not worried of that big bomb. That's my warm-up to me. That one I can tell a lot of people. That's a stepping stone.
But is Richard Latte Harrison scared of the Kenyan boxer? The answer is no.
Okola Morris can never scare me because what has he got to scare me with? When you want to scare a baby or a kid, you have to put on some marks so that the kids can run away. But this is the time you are not wearing anything. So I don't know that he got any ability to offer because although he has got 10 fingers as I am, we all see what will happen in the ring because speaking too much, we're not a deaf man here. But maybe touching will make you feel like something is calling him. So maybe touching Okola Morris will feel like the Eagle has touched him.
Yes, and that report, that preview actually was put together by Joy Sports, Nana Asari Bidiako. So Evans, are you game? Are we going?
Oh, I'm game. I mean, how can you invite me on a date and I'll turn it down? I can't do that.
Really?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I'm coming.
Is it because you have nowhere to go tonight?
Not at all.
You can't buy tickets.
Oh.
So you want a freebie.
No.
It's fine. Are we going in your car or we are going in a taxi or an Uber?
What do you think will happen?
We have to go in your car.
Yeah. Done.
Yeah. So I'll be waiting for you at the gate.
Absolutely.
All right. See ya.
Baba, thank you very much. Now, I'm sure you know now that we're just 48 hours away to that all-important referendum in 6 proposed regions across the country. That will decide whether or not Ghana increases its current 10 regions to possibly 6. But possibly 16, but there's another possibility, looking at how steep the constitutional requirement is for creation of new regions, that we might end up with no additional regions at all. Is government prepared for this eventuality? I've been speaking to Dan Botry, who is a minister responsible for regional reorganization and development. Says government will welcome whatever outcome there is from Thursday's referendum.
So from day one, Mr. President had explained that it's demand-driven. The government is not going to spend a peso in the campaigning process to campaign to vote for yes or campaign to vote no. So we are not involved in that. That is the difficult thing for
it
us
is
to do.
a
We're trying to
difficult thing.
explain to the people that they themselves should ensure that they campaign, they have to find their own polling agents to go and monitor the polls. We are not involved, but we are explaining, facilitating, trying to educate them. That's what we have been doing so far. So I thought.
So when you went around the country, what was the purpose of the going around? Because I know you've been around a lot.
Yes.
What were you doing?
From 2017, there was a need, just as you rightly said. It's the first time we are invoking these constitutional provisions. And we've not done it, I mean, with regards to creating religion. The last one, the religion was created in 1983. Military rule that time, so created, Upper West is done. But to go through this process under this constitution is the first time. So we needed to go and explain, sensitize the petitioners and all that. We got Information Service Department involved. We also met in each region where they showed this interest. We invited district directors of NCC.
Put it in context. What it means is it's possible, but after the 27th, we might not necessarily, people have almost come to a conclusion that this is a formality. We might actually end up with not 6 regions, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe none at all, because of the steep constitutional requirements, as you rightly quoted in the Constitution. Are we prepared for all the eventualities?
Yes, we are. We are. Let me emphasize that point. We've told them, yes, it's 6 regions, proposed regions. Even the names are still proposed.
That's Damboche there. You want to catch him in the full interview. It's going to be aired on PM Express at 9, between 9 and 10 p.m. on the Joy News channel. My name is Evans Mensah. That's it for Newsnight tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening and Merry Christmas.